the whole controversy over the Elwha was that the environmental community and others, for an extended period of time, have wanted both of the Elwha dams to be removed. At the time, which I'm first conscious now, trying to remember things that happened close to 20 years ago, I suppose, the community was deeply concerned about whether the loss of the two Elwha dams would result in the closure of the James River mill. And I became very much sympathetic with that proposition. And I think that I can say, in general philosophical terms, that I always gave great weight over localized issues like this to the views of the people who were immediately affected by it, as against a general, say, state or national environmental interest in it. And the more time I spent in the community and on the ground, the more I became convinced, in a sense, that it was appropriate to split the baby. That the lower dam was old and outmoded and leaking and useless and not very productive. And I never opposed the removal of the lower dam, was willing to support it. My view of the upper dam was then and is today very different. That it is a significant power producer, that the lake that it has created is an aesthetic plus rather than a minus. I have severe reservations about what will happen even to the fish when all of it is gone. And although this is retrospective because it wasn't a big issue at the time, that the removal of a producer of a significant amount of electric power that is totally environmentally benign, i.e. makes no contribution whatsoever to greenhouse gases, and the ultimate substitution for that power of some coal-fired plant in California or some other place is in my view, in all probability, not only an economic but an environmental negative. I have no idea when I first heard about it. I was Attorney General for 12 years before I was United States Senator, and if there were issues out there that involved the state, I would have been involved in them. But I can't remember what they were, and I don't even remember when the contest over the dams began. But it certainly took place, at least in its initial stages, while I was United States Senator, and I represented the people of Port Angeles and Clallam County, so I took an interest in it. The discussion from the point of view of the environmental community was always taking down both dams. From a community point of view, I don't know that there was ever a heavy opposition in the community to taking down the lower dam, but there certainly was to taking down the upper dam. And the proposition that you could probably have both fish in the dam through some kind of ladders, was there, but I don't think it ever became central in the debate. Do I believe that you can recreate some salmon run in a river like that? Well, yes, of course you can. What kind of run it will be, how significant it will be, whether it will really make any difference in the overall salmon in the Pacific Ocean is something about which I have some questions, but I'm sure you can do it. There's salmon in the river now, aren't there?
Some, yeah.
Yeah, there are a handful of them. And there'll be a little bit more free-run river when the lower, when the lower dam comes down. Will there be more if the upper dam comes down? Yes, I think there probably will be. Will they meet the myths of the late 19th century? That seems to me to be highly doubtful. And one more run and one more river there, one modest run and one river there, in my view, is not worth both the actual cost and the long-term cost and lost power of removing the dam.